When Jesus said that he brought light to everyone, what did he mean more than anything else? Primarily, he was talking about life. I said earlier that light helps us to see things more clearly. It does. Jesus helps us to see God more clearly. He even helps us to get a better view of ourselves. I also said that light shines everywhere, indiscriminately. There is a message from God that is for every one of us this Christmas. He has a gift that is for you. Because perhaps the most important quality of light is that it is essential for life. A plant needs light to survive and grow. If you take a healthy plant and you put it in a dark cupboard, even if it's well watered, it will begin to wither and die. Light is not an optional extra. Take away the light, you take away the life. And it's not only plants. The light energy that hits a plant is used by it to power a chemical reaction that turns carbon dioxide into oxygen. Oxygen that you and I need to breathe. So it's not just essential for plants to survive, it's essential for us to survive as well. The words from John's Gospel that we heard read at the start of our carol service said this: Jesus gave life to everything that was created, and his life brought light to everyone. Jesus is like light because he is essential for life. If you take away Jesus, you take away life. Which I suppose raises the question, what do we mean by life? What did Jesus mean by life when he said that he was essential for life? Well, for one thing, the word life means existence. God has made each one of us to be alive, to have consciousness, to have personality. You're not an inanimate object, you're a being, a person who is precious to God. So if Jesus gave life to everything that was created, that means that he gave life to you. He brought you into being. The reason we celebrate Christmas is that Jesus, the Son of God, even though he had no beginning as God, he had a beginning as he was born into mankind, as he took on humanness. It's perhaps the most amazing event from all of history, because God became a human person. He came to be like you. But when we think of life, we think of more than simply being alive, because we can't think of life without introducing time into the equation. We naturally think of the span of our lives from the moment we are born to the moment we die. That's your life. Those two events mark it out. This year has made many people think about life in a different way. We've been presented with a virus that was totally new, for which there was no known cure. And that's made many people, particularly in our society, sit up and think about life. Every day on our news, we are presented with a new figure, the latest total, the number of people who have died. And we're used to that now. But can you remember how outside of our thinking that would have been just this time last year? It used to be easy to go through life, Christmas to Christmas, sort of assuming that we were immortal, or at least that death was such a distant prospect that we didn't need to concern ourselves with it. Now it's in our faces every day. For 2,000 years, Jesus has been declaring, like a lighthouse beacon guiding ships into a harbour, that if you want life, you need me. I said earlier that Jesus is a light that shows that we are all designed to know God as our Father, to share in his goodness forever. But he's also a light that shows up all the wrong things in our own lives, things that break our relationship with the Father, things that leave us guilty for our own sin. But Jesus was born into this world so that he would grow up into adulthood and then eventually die on a Roman cross. Through his death, he paid for your sin. The words of John's Gospel go on to say this: to all who believed Jesus and accepted him, he gave the right to become children of God. There is a gift that God wants to give you this Christmas that is like no other. If you believe in Jesus and accept that he came into this world and then died for you, then his free gift to you is that right to become a child of God. All your sin totally forgiven. You can know God as your Father forever. And that, Jesus said, is the definition of life. Jesus is as essential for life as the light is in the room you are in to see by. Don't put your trust ultimately in a vaccine, as useful for mankind though that will be. Don't put your trust in your own goodness, assuming that that will get you through. Don't entrust your future to the roll of a dice, assuming that you came from dust and you're a product of blind chance and one day you will go back to dust. There is only one way to have life, and that is to trust in Jesus. It's him you need this Christmas. So we think of life as being alive. We think of our 70 years and 10, the span of our lives. I suppose there's one other way that we think of life, and that is to mean the quality of life. We might say of someone, oh, it's sad, they don't really have much of a life. Or of somebody else, we might say, they really know how to live life. If this year has done anything, it has certainly messed up life. You might have had holiday plans that have been cancelled or family events that couldn't happen. Education has been disrupted. There might be all sorts of activities that you would have enjoyed, but you've not been able to because of pandemic restrictions. To be honest, it's all been a bit sad. It's been a bit empty. Some people are just struggling with life. Jesus made a bold claim. He said, not only is life found in him, but the life that is found in him is the most complete life possible. And I believe it's true. I found it to be true because Jesus knows better than anybody what you really need. And then he promises to provide it for you. He knows that you need the warmth that comes from knowing that you are loved unconditionally. He knows that you need the peace that comes from knowing that your future is secure in him. He knows you need the adventure of the adventure that comes from being included in God's plan for next year and the years that follow. We all hope that life gets back to normal soon. We hope that we can meet up, that we can move around, even that we can go to work freely. But what if God wants to show you an even better hope this Christmas? A hope that is totally sure and certain because it was all contained in this baby that was born in Bethlehem on that first Christmas day. A hope that is found in Jesus, who said, "In me is life, and that life is light for all mankind."